Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Brian W. Adams.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us on the Inspire podcast this morning. We know a lot of incredible integrity partners, started with really meager beginnings and started with very little, and they created by their own hard work and determination and humility some really amazing businesses from scratch. And we've got another one joining us today, and I'm so excited to have Wes Fischer, the president of the health insurance store, join us to discuss a little bit about his background. Now, many of you heard some of it last week as we announced the health insurance store joining the Integrity family. And I'm so excited to have a chance just to dig in and learn a little bit more. Wes is one of the leading experts on health insurance in Florida, and he's one of the most passionate people you'll ever meet and absolutely committed to healthcare and the healthcare insurance industry. He founded the health insurance store in Kissimmee, Florida in 1992, and now he oversees a service that serves independent agents all over the state of Florida, and also has these standalone brick and mortar retail locations throughout the state of Florida, which has really been something very exciting for us to add to Integrity. Here at Integrity, we want to meet clients where they are and make sure that they're comfortable in enrolling into their life or health insurance plan, whether that's in person at the kitchen table, whether that's in someone's office, whether that's over the phone or in one of these brick and mortar stores like the health insurance store that Wes has really innovated in the industry. So was one of the first agencies to work in the HCA marketplace in late 2013, and has worked in the Medicare options space since the mid-90s. And over the last several years, the health insurance store has processed over $225 million in annualized premium and serves over 50,000 American families annually. It has been really fun to get to know Wes better. He's really one of those great guys who are always giving back, giving people more than he expects for himself. And he's just one of the best people I've ever met in this business. And you'll learn why when he shares his story. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Wes Fischer, the president of the health insurance store, to the Inspire podcast. Wes, thanks a lot for joining us, my friend. Really appreciate you being here.
Hey, thanks, Brian. We've definitely come a long way, and I'm very proud of what my team and I have accomplished at the agency, and I'm just so honored to be on this Inspire podcast with you and to be a part of the Integrity family.
Well, we're honored as well, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Well, your video is something that really uncovered some things that I don't know if many people knew about you. You grew up in Pennsylvania in a still working family, and really talked a lot about the real struggles that you grew up in the 70s, and really kind of what that whole experience kind of meant to you. Would you tell us a little bit more about how you grew up and what you learned, what life lessons you learned from that?
Sure, Brian. You're right. I was raised in a steel industry community just outside of Pittsburgh. My father was a steel worker, and we were both huge Pittsburgh Steelers fans. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years during the time when my father's steel industry was going into a steep decline. And my father eventually lost his mill job during that time with very few prospects of finding a similar position anytime soon. So the 4 Super Bowl wins during 6 years were really a big lift for my father, my family, and the community, which was much needed. And at the time, Pittsburgh was deemed the city of champions. And when times are really, really tough, you reach out for inspiration wherever you can find it. And, the Steelers were not only champions on the field, but off the field as well. The Rooney family founded and continue to manage the Steeler organization, and they actually named the franchise after the steel industry. It's incredible, but they've only had 3 head coaches in the last 50 years. So the entire organization from top to bottom really epitomizes excellence, hard work, teamwork, tradition, and service to the community. And my father and the other steel workers and the Steelers all had that same mentality of showing up to work each day with hard hat and lunch pail in hand and just quietly getting the job done. So that work ethic and core values are what I've always tried to live by in my personal and work life and later as a business owner. Those core values are one of the many reasons why I was attracted to integrity. So after college, I worked for Big 8 accounting companies like Price Waterhouse, and we audited hospitals. And then I became the shared service vice president for the Florida Hospital Association. And the association sponsored employee benefit plans for healthcare providers. And that's really where my devotion for health insurance started. And when the association refocused on member advocacy, I knew I wanted to take a different direction to pursue healthcare and insurance, specifically helping underserved individuals and communities access affordable health insurance. And that's basically why I started the agency, the Health Insurance Store.
Man, that's such an inspiring story. I love hearing how people get started, how people really draw on other experiences like your experience growing up to really help and serve others. You started the Health Insurance Store, which is a little bit unique. You've got these brick and mortar stores that serve people all across the state of Florida, which is something that most agents or agencies were never even probably thought of. But it's such an ingenious way to have people come in and be served, and you literally have lines out the door for people waiting to come in and sit down in a really comfortable environment to really to get to know and what their needs are, what solutions they have available. Tell us a little bit about how you started the Health Insurance Store and why you went with kind of the brick and mortar structure.
Yeah, we started the agency in 1992 and started it out of the house in St. Cloud. And at the time, it was pretty scary, but very exhilarating as well too. No one in my family had ever been self-employed, Brian. I didn't know anyone who owned their own company growing up. I found myself in really unknown and uncharted territory by starting my own agency. My wife, Vicki, was a real trooper. She was a high school English teacher, and she sacrificed a lot for the family and for the startup of the business. Like I guess a lot of people starting out, I fumbled and stumbled through the process, but always stayed true to Steeler roots and values of just working hard and full speed ahead. Fast forward nearly 30 years later, my incredible Health Insurance Store team worked, and we've built really a unique model for assisting more than 800 independent agents and 50,000 clients with their health plan coverage. You mentioned our brick and mortar locations. We called them access centers, and we created them to better serve the communities and to allow our independent agents to provide resources beyond insurance. So we partnered with the Florida Department of Children and Family Services that allows us to provide this extra help for underserved individuals right where they live, in the communities where they live. With the funding cutbacks to the DCF program over the years, DCF had enough money for Medicaid, they had enough money for the extra help, but they just didn't have enough money for the retail locations and the staff, and that's why they turn to our independent agents. And our access centers assist these residents in these communities apply for Medicaid, low-income subsidy, food stamps, and marketplace subsidies as well. That's what I've loved a lot about our business, the chance to help people with the things that matter most in their life, getting affordable health care, getting free food. Service is really important to us, and giving back is equally as important. And that's another reason why we were so attracted to working with the Integrity team, because Integrity shares those same values, and it really seems to be a reoccurring theme, Brian, throughout your organization of just serving people and serving as many Americans as we can.
Yeah, I think that's so important, and it's really inspiring to hear kind of your heart for service, because I really believe, we've got these 5 core values of Integrity, and one of them is service. And it's really, at the end of the day, we're a service company. We provide great service to our agents and agencies that go out and support their clients. And at the end of the day, we want to help Americans plan for one of these important life needs that they're going to be sitting in a really difficult position at one point in their life, and they're going to need great life or health or wealth-planning products. And service is at our core. And I believe if you have a servant's heart and you look for others that serve, and you go above and beyond. I mean, Zig Ziglar said it, I think, best. He said, if you can help enough people get what they want, then you can have what you want, right? And so that whole passion around service is something that I think drew us to your story. Whenever I first met with you and Cassandra, and we sat down and we talked about just shared philosophy, and it was like, man, we've got to figure out how to partner with you, because you're doing more than just helping people with their health insurance needs. You're also giving back in a lot of other ways. Can you tell us a little bit more about other ways that you guys give back?
Sure. Specifically, a few of those times that do stand out for being in a position to give back. During the recent and ongoing pandemic, a lot of people in Central Florida, especially in the tourist industry, lost their jobs, and a lack of food has become a serious chronic problem for them. So earlier this year, we researched and we forged a partnership with a 501c3 food bank, and we pledged donations each month so the food bank can provide our agents and access centers with more than 1,300 bags of food each month. And my agents distribute these to needy people in the community. And Brian, they're not skimpy bags. A bag of food can feed a family of 4 for a few days.
Wow.
So we work with our provider and health plan partners as well to distribute food through our access centers, along with independent agents at churches and other not-for-profit organizations. It's really been gratifying to do that. Another giving opportunity was when Puerto Rico was completely devastated by Hurricane Maria in 2014. After the hurricane went through, we had about 1,000 people, Puerto Ricans a day, that were flying into Florida for refuge. Most of them ended up in Orlando. At the time, Governor Rick Scott stepped in and organized a welcome center right at the airport, made of different agencies and not-for-profit organizations where Puerto Ricans could get assistance and information as soon as they got off the plane. Brian, many of these folks that got off the plane were carrying their entire life possessions in a suitcase because their houses were just wiped out. So we were invited to participate at the airport welcome center, and were able to quickly set up a place where people could apply for Medicaid, low-income subsidy, obtain medications because some of them had to leave their medications back in Puerto Rico, and necessary physician services. We also assisted the Puerto Ricans to transfer from Puerto Rican health plans to Florida health plans as well. And initially, we were there 7 days a week for more than 8 weeks. So it really was an extraordinarily humbling and awesome experience to witness and be a part of. And in terms of giving to our employees, partnering with integrity, we'll give all of my employees stock ownership integrity and a 401k plan they never had before. So that's really an extraordinary gift to them. These employees are our work family. Our senior management team are all women under 40. Many of our staff members are hardworking single mothers, and ownership in a company like Integrity is really huge for them. So it's humbling and an honor to be a part of that all.
Man, it's humbling. It's humbling to be partners with you. I mean, again, back to that servant heart, where you guys stepped in and wanted to make sure that you were there for people, not only in COVID and making sure you're providing food for people, but also with the hurricane and that relief time and being there 7 days a week. I mean, the stress, I know that takes on your own family has to be a lot while you're helping other families. And then your team is made up of the most amazing people. I mean, you've got just such great leaders there that we're so excited to partner with and come alongside. And we could not be happier to have all of you as partners here at Integrity, and really taking care of our Integrity family is something that's extremely important to us as well. And it's obvious that your addition is a truly great fit within the Integrity family. Tell us a little bit more about your decision to partner with Integrity and what made you want to give us that call and reach out to us and talk about joining the Integrity platform.
You know, that was an interesting process. Brian, we were exploring the concept of finding a strategic partner for, more than 5 years. And to tell you the truth, we had no idea what we were looking for at the beginning. But during the last few years, we're finding it increasingly more difficult to maintain the high standards that we come to expect from our team. And while we were continuing to grow, we were going through growing pains. We also knew that we had to have a Medicare enrollment platform to stay relevant with our agents. Enrollment platforms are a fast evolving trend whose use has been accelerated by the pandemic. And Brian, we simply did not have the financial resources to afford one of our own. So the Integrity Medicare Center will provide my agents with really incredible resources. And based upon our previous research with other platforms, the Medicare Center just really leapfrogs the competition. And that's just one more reason why Integrity became the obvious choice. Another major reason why we chose Integrity can be summed up in 2 words: Thomas Arts, and Thomas Arts. Well, that's actually 6 words. Their multimedia and advertising agency has been in lockstep every step of the way with their production of our partner video and all the preparations for the podcast, all the recommendations on advertising that we've been able to obtain that information recently. It's just been a wonderful, wonderful research to work with. And as we met with different suitors over the years and looked at different options, there just seemed to be a lot of missing pieces and a lack of synergy. So during the last year or so, I kept seeing Integrity affiliations pop up on the press releases. I listened to some of the Integrity partners at the FMO corporate events, and I was impressed with what I learned from them. Integrity always seems to find a way to be ahead of the curve, thinking far into the future. You know, when you flew into Kissimmee Airport and visited with your team and Cassandra and I, halfway through the presentation, I really realized that Integrity really understood our business. Brian, we're so proud and appreciative to be able to continue our journey with you and the Integrity family.
Well, we're the ones who are proud, and man, I tell you, when I remember sitting down with you and Cassandra and sitting down in Kissimmee, and we were just talking about kind of your passion and how it lined up with our passion. It was one of those things I think I said in the middle of the meeting, like, we just got to figure this out. Like everything else, are just details. We've got to figure out how we can become partners with the two of you, and then meeting the rest of your team. Oh my gosh, it has made it even more exciting than I think we could have ever dreamt of. Whenever we partner, you gave a shout out to Thomas Arts. When we first met with Dave Thomas and Troy Thomas and Ann Wood at Thomas Arts, I remember the same feeling. We were sitting in our boardroom. They came in to visit with us, and it was one of those things that we just talked about. We just talked about passion and kind of our passion for service. The entire time, never talked about anything other than that. And for, 6 or 7 hours, we sat there and talked and finally said, I don't care what it takes, we got to figure this out. And we had some people that said, why don't you just hire them as an ad agency? And we were like, man, that would never align all of our interests the same way to where we were all pulling the same direction. And so we're incredibly excited that you recognize that as well, and we think that we're just getting started with what we're seeing with Thomas Arts and that whole partnership as well. So, Wes, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing more about your background and your passion. And I just got to tell you how thankful we are that you chose to call us and chose us as a partner. We think we can do some amazing things together, but more importantly, we can serve a lot of people along the way. So thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Brian.
Well, I've asked Bill to just jump on real quick to as one Pittsburgh fan to another to join you guys and welcome you to the Integrity family.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Wes, I'm so happy that I'm going to be able to call you my partner starting today. I mean, from the first time we met at that WellCare advisory meeting down in Florida, and we kind of started talking, about business and the MA industry, and then you kind of shared with me kind of your thoughts about kind of what was going on with Integrity, and we just kind of continued that conversation. I just really grew to respect you so much in terms of your knowledge base. And what really came through to me most was your passion about the consumers that you guys help, and also wanting to take care of your own employees. And I was just so excited when you started that conversation with Integrity with Eric and Brian and the rest of the crew, and just so pleased that you're part of our family moving forward. I couldn't be happier.
Bill, you didn't even say anything about the Steelers connection here, man. We got this whole Steelers love fest going on too. This is a diehard Steelers fan here. I even told him about my interaction of meeting Mean Joe Green Mean Joe Green lives right around the corner from us here, and met him at Target. And so now you guys can root for the Steelers together.
Hey, Brian, I think Bill is more of a hockey fan than a football fan.
Well, that is for sure. That is for sure. Yeah. Well, he's still a Steelers fan, right? I think that still goes. Well, we also so I don't know if many people realize on the ACA marketplace just how large you guys are, right, Wes? I mean, you guys are massive in that space as well. Which also Ryan Kimball, who at Agent Pipeline, we've already connected you guys, and I think I don't have anything to back this up yet, but I think combined we're going to be the largest distributor of ACA plans in the U.S. now, with both of your businesses coming together. So one of the first things we did was introduce the two of you guys to say we ought to be looking for ways, even before we partner together, looking for ways for us to come together and serve that market even better. So I asked Ryan to join us here as well.
Wes, it's an exciting day for us, brother. I am sure it doesn't measure up to the excitement you and your team have right now, but getting to know you and working with your team, we all talk about how much we care for and take care of agents. All the feedback I get is that you guys do it better than anybody else, and your team is always on top of everything when it comes to agent-related opportunities. So, Wes, I congratulate you, man. I know when I went through this just a few months ago, it seems, it was an extremely exciting day. It was hard for me to take my smile off my face. So I can envision that's the same thing for you. And, it's good to have, it feels very good to have you guys on the platform now. And to Brian's point, man, we love ACA, and it's always good to have another partner who loves it as much as we do. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to your team for everything you guys have built. And it's great to have you guys on board.
Well, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you, my friend. Hope everybody has a really blessed week, and look forward to talking with you all soon. Thanks again, everybody. God bless you guys.